The purpose of this video is to determine whether or not the North American ape-like creature known as Bigfoot is real. Because there can be only two possible outcomes: either Bigfoot is real or it isn't. There is no in between. It can't be partially real or partially a myth or legend. Taking into consideration its history that spans hundreds of years, and the thousands of reported sightings, there certainly seems to be enough evidence to warrant a serious investigation. So let's begin with the history of Bigfoot. Bigfoot sightings go back hundreds of years, as they are part of North American folklore. Tribes completely separated from each other all have a story about Sasquatch with a similar description. Very tall, much taller than an average-sized man, covered with hair and living in the woods. They are unable to speak, but are able to make grunting and whistle sounds, and often forage at night. They are considered to be a real creature, and have passed down many stories from generation to generation. Sasquatch is treated with a great deal of respect, and often appears in various forms of native art. There are many different First Nation names for Bigfoot, including the most well-known one, Sasquatch. Other names include Bukwas, Toilona, Bush Indians, Hairy Man, Nunumik, Lofa, Nakani, Oma, Siako, and Scutum. In the 1800s, various newspaper articles of possible Bigfoot sightings appeared. It is interesting how descriptions back then are very similar to Sasquatch sightings of today. For example, in this newspaper article from May 1871, a creature referred to as the Tennessee Wildman is described by witnesses as follows: a strange and frightful being has been observed for several weeks. He is said to be 7 feet high, and possessed of great muscular power. His eyes are unusually large and fiery red. His hair hangs in a tangled and matted mass of jet below his waist, and his beard reaches below his middle. His entire body is covered with hair, and his whole aspect is most frightful. Wow! Sounds a lot like the creature in the famous Patterson Bigfoot footage from 1967, and that was almost 100 years before it was filmed. Fast forward to the 20th century and up to the present day. There have been 3,313 reported sightings of Bigfoot in North America between 1921 and 2013 with the same general description. A large muscular bipedal ape-like creature with brown or black hair, roughly 6 to 9 feet tall, as well as certain behaviors such as throwing rocks, tree-knocking sounds, a possible form of communication, and terrifying vocalizations that are way beyond the capabilities of the human voice. Going back to our number of reported sightings in North America in the past 100 years, 3,313. Let us assume that only 1 in 10 Bigfoot sightings are ever reported. It takes some work to report a sighting, and a lot of sightings may never be mentioned by people out of fear of ridicule. So 1 in 10 sightings that are reported equals 33,130 possible Bigfoot sightings. That is an insanely large number. There are thousands of Bigfoot sighting videos on YouTube, everything from documentaries to news stories to radio podcasts. And more videos are being uploaded every day. One of the best forms of tangible evidence of the existence of Bigfoot are footprints. There have been thousands of Bigfoot footprints found in North America. Some deep into the woods where people rarely venture into, or places where people go hiking once every few years. Very strange places to make hoax footprints, although human-made hoax footprints do occur from time to time, or be mistaken for animal tracks such as bears. Also, many authentic Bigfoot footprints have dermal ridges, which are fingerprint-like lines on the bottom of the foot. I have no idea how dermal ridges could be faked. And the depth of the footprints is an indicator of its weight. Some footprints suggest that the Sasquatch may weigh as much as 700 pounds. Large tree structures have been found throughout North America in remote areas that are associated with Bigfoot sightings and footprints. In some cases, the trees, weighing hundreds of pounds, have been either tipped over to form perfect X's or ripped out of the ground to form multiple interlocking structures. Sometimes the trees have been turned upside down, with the trunk facing upwards. Well, there is certainly no shortage of Bigfoot sightings captured on video. All you have to do is search top 10 Bigfoot sightings or best Bigfoot sightings ever on YouTube, and a lot of those sightings look very convincing. So is Bigfoot real? Yes or no? Well, there certainly seems to be a lot of strong evidence in the form of sightings and footprints. The sheer number of sightings over a period of hundreds of years and their similarities is enough to at least take the subject seriously. I think we should at least be open-minded to the possibility of their existence. Considering that there is hundreds of thousands of square miles of sustainable wilderness in North America in which Sasquatch could live and remain mostly undetected. Saying that Bigfoot isn't real only leads to more questions. How can all those thousands of reported sightings be explained? Is there some kind of mass occurrence of super tall humans wandering around in the woods, wearing world-class gorilla costumes just waiting to be spotted? And they can't be written off as animal sightings since bears and moose don't normally walk through the woods on 2 feet like a human. Bears occasionally stand up on their 2 back legs from time to time, but not walk for great distances or run. I've always been stumped by people who claim that Bigfoot doesn't exist. How can someone possibly know that something doesn't exist? Especially in light of all the supporting evidence. Saying that Sasquatch isn't real would require disproving every single sighting. When we learn to be open-minded, then Bigfoot becomes a fascinating subject with no shortage of stories and evidence. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment below.